well-being. So when they decided to ask me, okay, if that's what heaven is in your mind and that's what God is in your idea, what's the devil? I said, anything that reduces your well-being. Anything. So you're in a world full of demons. Because everything can. All you have to do is give it special importance. Buy a new car. Someone dings it. Wow, that takes people down. That's why you see these macho dudes with their brand new super shiny cars, parking them sideways in the parking space so no one can open their door and hit it. It's like, how much of a complete spooky moron are you? That not only do you need to protect yourself, you need to protect your car.
Well, they're so attached. It's an attachment.
Because you know what? And it's funny, because here's where it comes from. I have no well-being, therefore my energy is low. I'm not getting any of the attention I want. I go spend $80,000 on a car. People's heads will turn. I can transfer their attention on me into my well-being. I can pretend anyway.
So it becomes an extension of the ego.
Yeah.
All searching for satisfaction is an extension of the ego, which doesn't know satisfaction, so it will never know satisfaction.
Yeah, so the more material stuff you accumulate,
Chasing
that's
the
why
dragon.
nobody gets happy with that.
Like a
It's
heroin junkie chasing the dragon. You never catch the dragon. You never catch the dragon. Dad, you never catch the dragon. Stop. You know, well, I decided, for me, it was, I just guess I just thought it was like this for everybody. I had no choice. The brakes were put on it. The consumption had to stop. From whatever the situation arose, I have never been able to stay delusional for very long. It's always brought to my attention. Not to say I don't get delusional, sure I do. It's always brought to my attention, though. And anything brought to my attention is dealt with presently. I can't push it into the past. There's nothing to do with it there. So I just deal with what arises. Right? If there's anything in the past that's still messing with you, you'll know. It'll arise in the present moment. Well, that's the place you're going to deal with it. So might as well let it. I mean, really, consider the fact that you're going to live forever. Yes, you may not be in this body. What animates it, your being is animating this body. One day it's going to get up and go, and the body's just going to fall on the ground. Right? We know that. We know that there really isn't any death. The animation leaves the body. I don't know. We call it death, but is that really what's happening? We don't know. We just know that what animated the body and gave it its beauty and its laughter and it's something we can associate with is gone now, and now it's basically laid out and it's going to spoil very fast. How weird. The being goes in the body and it keeps it fresh. And the minute it leaves, the body deteriorates. Isn't that weird? I mean, really think about that. That's really strange. Is that death? Is that death? That spooky death? I mean, we don't really know. There's no one who can prove death is real. Because what's animating the body is gone. Is it dead? Is what animated the body, is that dead? No. It lives forever. So if it lives forever, anything that is causing you trouble now, you can assume, and you'd rightfully assume, that if you don't deal with it, it's going to last forever. Any issue you have that's keeping you from your well-being, body or not, if you don't deal with it, it's going to go on forever. And if you're going to live forever, and you're sick of it now, why would you let it go on another day? What would be the point in allowing your own suffering to go on for yet another day? Because if you don't deal with it, it's going to last forever. Right? You're sick of it now. Why live with it yet another day?
To deal with it, is that when you were talking about when you had you just opened that mild thickness of whatever, and you allowed the feelings to finally be felt.
Uh-huh.
Is that how you would deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, it was without any armor and no weaponry. Right? Having any notional ideas as weapons. Judgments, agendas, armor and weapons, armor and weapons. So the minute a feeling comes in, the only way we can dissipate it is by basically giving it to someone else through a conversation, which means we have to define it. So the minute we feel something we can't tolerate, we define it. Give it a name. Because that way we can now communicate it to someone else and hopefully they'll take it. You ever seen this happen? Person walks in the door, they're happy as a clam. There's someone sitting here who is not. They don't want to deal with their shit. They just don't want to feel it anymore. So you walk in, you sit down, and suddenly you're starting to feel like they do. And they walk out the door with a smile on their face, and you're feeling like crap.
Or we numb everything, or we try to escape, to not feel, like you were pointing out. We do so often not want to be in our bodies. We live about 2 feet away half the time, or we eat, or we take substances, or we stay on the internet, or whatever, to not feel.
To not be present.
To not be present.
As long as we're not present, there is no well-being.
But if we continue to do that, then we never deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't get the present.
Right.
The gift.
Right.
Oh, yeah, good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't get that gift of well-being in the present.
Because it's only coming in the present moment.
Mm-hmm. We're too busy avoiding.
I mean, if there is a God, He's everywhere right now, making sure the next moment goes off without a hitch. Not dwelling in the past and just allowing the responsibility of making the next moment to just, I'm not in the mood today. It's always right there in the present. So, I mean, if we're going to have a relationship with the divine, then we need to go to where the divine is. Where is it? It's right now. Which makes us, if we're smart, relinquish anything that's not right now. People go, well, wait a minute. I have rent to pay next month. It's like you're not, and to those people, there's only one thing you can really say. You're not ready for it. As long as you have your hooks in security, there is no well-being. Because your hooks in security you're doing it because you're afraid. So there's no well-being in fear. That's basically sacrificing. It's taking your well-being, bloodying it, and throwing it on a rock as an altar to worship some god. Here you go. Right? And I find that's probably the biggest sin. To neglect your being so you can crown your ego. You're going to crown the fool. Really? The fool gets to wear the crown? Because the ego is the fool. It's stupid. It's dumb. It doesn't know anything. It just leads us around and has us making bad life choices. Destroying the body. It can't destroy the soul. So it doesn't even try. It destroys where the soul can reside in the body. As long as that's happening, well-being is elusive. But well-being, love, heaven, life, it's the same thing. These are not separate things. It's all one package. So well-being is love. If you have it, you know that to be true. And if you have it, you know that can't be taken from you, which makes you free enough to love, courageous enough to. And when you understand that no matter what happens, no matter what kind of things are coming down on you, if you remain in love, It will not assault your well-being. Then you can understand how Gandhi can take bullets and beatings. Then you can understand how a guy like Jesus can be crucified and still go. Right? How Bob Marley could get shot, have his life threatened, and still show up at a concert that night. Play it anyway. How Martin Luther King could stand up there next to Jesse Jackson, knowing all good and well someone wanted him dead. What are you going to take from me? My well-being? It's impossible. It's nothing that anyone can possess. But you can give it up. I mean, really, there's the free will.
Yeah.
You have the will, and really, it's not like you have a free will to do anything you want. You have a free will to either exist with your well-being, in it, and be that, be love, or to relinquish that and be fear. And I'll tell you, I've been fear. Yuck, it's a position I didn't like. It made me ugly and tired and morose and cagey and selfish. Like, lack was its stimulus is lack. There's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough. It makes it go out and just basically wreak havoc. The only people that can hurt anyone are the ones that don't have enough. But the ones in well-being, you couldn't hurt anybody if you wanted to. How could you? What do you need so bad? If it's well-being and it's true satisfaction, you have no agenda. Now, if someone has an agenda, they don't have well-being. If they're just out to express themselves, there's no agenda in that. Yeah? I've been doing this for years. I have no desire to start workshops. I don't. What am I going to teach anybody? I mean, I come across everything by accident anyway. So what will it be? Accidental bliss. That'll be my workshop. You just bumped into it. Sorry. How did that happen? I don't know. I don't know how to tell you. I mean, is there things that we can do to further our well-being? Sure. Focus on what ails you. Don't get morose with it, but look at it. It'll change. Understand, anything you focus your attention on will change. Don't focus it on love. Just be that. Focus it on everything that keeps you from being that, and it will go away. Don't replace it with anything. Let love fill it up. Less personality, more character. To where you become unafraid, unfettered. You know, and in this day and age, just to be able to do that is a feat. You know when Jesus says, "These things I've done, you will do and more"? Just existing with a smile on your face in this day and age is more than what he was doing. Really. It's tough. Because that fear is addictive. And love isn't. Love is not addictive. You don't become addicted to it. You just, how would you put it? It feels too good to not do. There's no addiction involved.
It's an attraction.
Right. To me, I've kind of noticed that if love is really present and resonating, everybody's going to resonate to it. They're not going to avoid that. Especially if it's a safe place. If they feel like they're not going to get any judgment and no mind is going to be brought into it, they're free to go. Which is really what, if there was any agenda I have, that would be it. To create a safe enough place for someone to be able to let their awareness come to the present moment and feel what well-being feels like. That energetic presence. It's really what they've all been doing. Just